You know, this whole black gender war, or so-called black gender war, has been going on for decades now. And, you know, I felt like I wanted to do a video on it. You know, I've done videos similar to this, but I just wanted to touch on the topic more in a direct way. Because I think the last time I talked about this was like in 2011. And, you know, I don't like to call it a black gender war. I think that's a terrible name to call disagreements that happen between a black man and a black woman. And what I like to call it misunderstanding. You know, because of racism, because of society's issues, because of blacks' economical state, because of discrimination, because of our history, we deal with a lot of misinformation. We deal with a lot of misunderstandings. And a lot of times when we address each other, we do it in a hurtful way. We do it in a painful way. We do it in a way where we want to not only release a lot of frustration that we have within ourselves, but we want to hurt the other gender at the same time. And that's why you have a lot of black women out here and a lot of black men out here that come out and make these abundance videos. I mean, you got guys and women out here that their whole channel, you know, is directed to bashing the black man or bashing the black woman. And then you have spectators, those outside the black community or those within inside the black community that get a kick out of it. They love to see a black man, a black woman tearing down each other. They love to see the division. And a lot of you guys don't understand that the system that we live in, meaning the outs and ins and outs of America, has created a world and a society and a system around us to divide us as a people. We can go all the way back to slavery, where they had you know, a so-called house nigga, which he really was a nigga in their eyes at the end of the day. But we had the house nigga and the field nigga. Then, you know, they try to separate us by skin complexion, which is another issue within the black community. And then you had welfare come around, where it tore up the black families, which in result create a lot of single parent households. And then you had a lot of black men that wanted to be in the home but couldn't, for the simple fact that they had to make a decision whether it was their kids or whether it was them. So a lot of people just don't know their history. They don't understand where the root of a lot of this stuff comes from. And in result, because of you know, a lot of our people growing up in single parent households, or you know, maybe you grew up in a 2-parent household, but you just saw the steady static between your mother and your father, and maybe you grew up in a both parent household, but it was still that lack of understanding from the black man and the black woman. And we have to understand that there's things that the black man deals with in America that the black woman doesn't understand. She can try to understand, but she will never deal with, because she's not a black man. There's things that the black woman deals with that the black man will never deal with here in America. But it's important for us to talk to each other and speak to each other. I'm not talking about preaching, and I'm not talking about ridiculing or tearing down each other, but actually talking to each other, sitting down and having an understanding of the situation that not only that other gender goes through, but that we go through as a whole. And you know, I think that the black family, you know, has really become a destructive thing over the last 20 years. And it's been, like I say, it's just been a system that's been designed to rip us apart. You know, back in the 50s and 60s, when we had the civil rights movement, and we had strong black family household. We had, you know, the brother that might have been out there speaking for his people, marching or doing whatever he was trying to do to progress his people to the next level. we had the black woman right there, you know, holding down, you know, making those legendary footprints with her man. You had the black man that protected the black woman and tear down, then talk about you know, the petty things like a weave or black woman's weight or comparing black women to white women. We didn't have that. We had two collective genders of black people that understood the overall situation, and I think had a better understanding of each other. But what's happened is that I think after the civil rights movement, and we started to see somewhat tiny bit of progression, you know, maybe you was able to go out and get a corporate job, or you was able to go out and buy a fancy car, or own your own home, or, you know, just basically able to so-called move out of what we would call the black community and live amongst whites. We've kind of forgotten the struggle. We've forgotten our history. We've forgotten the fact that we need to support each other. Whether we agree or not, it's important that we collectively come together and be able to voice our opinions, voice the way we feel without tearing down each other. And, you know, I find it to be a hypocrisy when we have black men and black women out here that, you know, make tons of videos day in and day out talking about each other, downgrading each other, but won't say anything about the things that are coming against us. And, you know, like I said, I've talked about that in several of my videos, because our people, man, we're just in a fog. And today being Martin Luther King's birthday, you know, I really started to think about some things, and you know, just what he did for our people, and not just Martin Luther King, because, you know, here in America, a lot of our leaders are not talked about. We hear about, you know, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, you know, Frederick Douglass. You know, every now and then you might hear about Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey, but there's been tons, you know, of black leaders. I'm not just talking about the ones that are historically documented. I'm talking about those who walked and marched, and, you know, might have walked a couple of miles to get to work, or you know, to pick up their kids from school, because they want to control their dollar for the overall system, and not ride the bus that disrespect them every day or treat them like a second-class citizen. I'm talking about those people who have made an impact for us, so we can have better opportunities. And, you know, I got done earlier watching the Martin Luther King funeral. You know, a very sad thing. You know, the congregation, everybody within the church was just still, and I got to think, like, how did those people feel, you know, when that happened? You know, to have somebody great like Martin Luther King, somebody out there that's speaking, that's leading the charge, to be gunned down. You know, put yourself in that time frame, in that mindset. And I couldn't imagine, you know, how black folks feel. Well, I can imagine, because we deal with those things today, you know, but just to feel that hurt and that pain, that agony of losing someone like Dr. King, you know, I mean, it's a scary sight. But, you know, I just wanted to really make this video to, you know, encourage us to have dialogue, speak to each other, but do it in a respectful way. Don't tear down each other, because you're playing into what those people who want to see us be destructive and want to see us divide, you're playing right into their hands. And they're sitting back laughing. You don't see, you know, other ethnicities go on national television and downgrade each other, you know, or disrespect each other. But, you know, that's basically my video. You know, we got to stop this whole black gender war thing. You know, I know that people have father issues and mother issues, but it starts with us being honest, but at the same time understanding why this stuff is happening, and understanding what we need to do to not only solve the issues that we have, but progress in a positive way towards the future, so that we don't repeat the same negative history over and over and over again. Black women, support the black man. Don't come out here and talk about, how, black men don't want to take care of their children, or the black man is always broke, or all black men want to run to the white women. Don't come out here and tear the black man down. Black men, don't come out here and ridicule a black woman because, she wants to be creative with her hair, or ridicule a black woman because of mother issue that you have. Don't do that, because you're playing into a system that is loving that. They love when you come out here and ridicule your own people. And it's time for us to come together, start building strong black family households. If you lay down with a woman or you lay down with a man, take care of your responsibility. Now, I'm not just directing that to the brother. I'm directing that to black women too. Black people, teach your children about your history. Teach them about racism and discrimination. Teach them about the different adversities they're going to have to deal with because of the color of their skin. Teach them how to treat the black man, how to treat the black woman, how to have discussions with the opposite sex without ridiculing them. Teach them to be a positive human being to society. Teach them to be strong, have integrity, wisdom, knowledge. And when I say knowledge, I'm not just talking about college and public school. I'm talking about knowledge of self. Teach them the things that they need to have so we can have a better generation. Because I think that's the dream that, Martin Luther King was talking about. And I think we've forgotten that. But I'm out. Peace. Love each other.